Hi, good morning. I welcome you back to this lecture series on basic English grammar. So this will be the fourth lecture in the series, and for today we shall be covering prepositions. So without any further ado, let's begin. Prepositions. These are words in a sentence that explain the relationship of the noun in terms of place, time, direction, condition or position with another noun or verb or adjective in the sentence. So prepositions can be of various kinds: prepositions of place, preposition of time, prepositions of direction, prepositions of position, or prepositions of condition. So there are various examples of it. So the example one, the pen is kept on the table. So the word on here is a preposition and becomes a preposition of place because it explains the relationship of the noun, that is pen, and with another noun in the sentence, that is table. So the pen is kept on the table. Next, I reached the venue at 8 a.m. So the word at becomes a preposition of time, suggesting the time when you reached the venue. Third, you are required to conform to the rules. So the word to here is a preposition of direction. It's giving you some direction, some regulation, so to say. She was standing across the field. So the word across here becomes a preposition of position, suggesting that person's location, where he or she is. The rules will be changed since this is exceptional. So since here becomes a preposition of condition, suggesting some condition. So thereby prepositions are words which explain relationship of nouns in a sentence with another noun, another verb or another adjective. So by far we've done 4 lectures. You know about nouns, you know about subject and verb, subject and objects and verbs, articles, and today about prepositions. So it will be relevant if we can try a basic exercise where we should be able to recognize the various parts of sentence. So let's come to the exercise. Let's attempt 1 or 2 of these. First, the pen is kept on the table. Try recognizing every part of this sentence. So the first, the is a definite article, pen is a noun, and the subject in the sentence, the thing being talked about. Now is a helping verb, is an auxiliary verb. You've done that in verbs. Kept is the past form of the main verb, keep. Then on is the preposition as you are studying today. The again is the definite article, and table is a noun and the object in the sentence. Second, I reached the venue at 8 a.m. So I becomes the subject, the noun, the person being talked about. Reached is the simple past form of the main verb, reach. Then the is the definite article, venue is the object, and at again is the preposition. Try doing the same for the next 3 sentences given on the screen. Okay, let's continue with prepositions. So here are usage rules for some common prepositions that we use every day, that you come across every day. So you use in for continents, countries, states and cities. Examples: in India, in Uttar Pradesh, in Lucknow, etc. Second, you use at when referring to small towns and small villages. But when you are in that small town or a village, you will again use in. But when you are talking about someone else being in some small town or a village, you will use at. Example: I am in Malgudi, but my aunt is at Malgudi. So when you are talking about someone else, use at. Third, use in when talking of being inside a building. So we use in when we are inside a building, inside a bungalow, inside some hotel. But when we specifically mention the name of the building, bungalow or the hotel, we use at. Examples: she is in the hospital, but she is at Apollo. So when you talk about the general sense of it being inside a building, you will use in. And when you specifically mention the name of the place, you will use at. So they are in the hotel and they are at Taj. Okay. Use in when your workspace is inside a building. Maybe you are working somewhere and your workspace is inside a building, then you will use the preposition in. But when your workspace is an open area, when your workspace is some field, some farm or an open space, you will use the preposition on. Examples: she works in a chocolate factory inside a building, and she works on their farm in an open space, a field. Next, we use on when we talk about a street or a road in the general sense. But when you mention a street in particular, then you will use the preposition in. And when you give a complete address of a particular place, then you precisely use the preposition at. So when you are talking in the general sense, I saw her running on the street. When you name that street, I saw her in Cariappa Road. And when you give the entire address, you become very precise and specific. So you say, I live at 1515 Phase 1 Urban State. Next, so we use the preposition in when referring to morning and evening. We use preposition at when referring to noon, night, midnight, dawn or sunset or a specific time. And we use the preposition in when referring to a bigger time frame. And when you refer to some smaller time frame, then you use at and then on. Examples, the drill is at 8 a.m. in the morning. India attained independence in 1947, a bigger time frame. Then smaller than that, on 15th August and becoming very specific at the midnight hour. Okay, I went to London in summers, a bigger time frame. So you use in for morning and evening and for bigger time reference like months, years, seasons, and you use at for noon, night, midnight, dawn, sunset or a specific time. Yeah, next. Now you use on when referring to some particular day or days. For example, on Monday, on 16th November, on his birthday. Now let's talk about other uses of the preposition on. To specify a particular position. So he is lying on the ground. So it becomes a preposition of position. So when you talk about something which is supported by some other thing. So he has the bag on his back. Third, you use on when you talk about a condition. Maybe I have bought this car on loan. Now coming to other uses of the preposition at. At is used when you state the price of something. So this commodity is available at rupees 15 per kg. So that's the price of the thing. Second, you use at sometimes to state some condition. So when the teacher asked me the question, I was at a loss for words. Now talking about the preposition for. So the preposition for is mostly used to indicate the destination. The train left for Lucknow on time. It is also used to state purpose, sometimes the reason, sometimes an alternative suggestion. So this device is used for measurements, the purpose of the device. Her son felt responsible for her grief, the reason. This dining table is available for sale, again, the reason. Dolo is a substitute for parasip, an alternative of something. Now let's compare between two prepositions to know the usage better. So for and since. So you use for when you are denoting a time span and you use since when you mention a specified exact moment in time. So for is used to denote a time span and since is used to specify some exact moment in time. For example, she is in the hospital for the last 2 weeks. So I'm talking about a time span. But if I say she is in the hospital since Monday, so I'm specifying an exact moment. So you use since. Again, they will be in India for 2 months. So a time span, you use for. And they are in India since 16th July. I am specifying an exact moment of time. So you use since. Now, second, again comparing two prepositions by and until. So we use the preposition by when you are doing some work and you can do that work before a specified moment or by that specified moment, on that specific moment, but not later than that. When something can be done before a specific moment or on a specific moment, but not later. For example, I need to submit this assignment by Wednesday. So I can give it on Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday, but not later. And we use the preposition until when the condition that you are mentioning is going to persist, is going to continue for some time span. So I am busy until Wednesday because I have to submit my assignment by then. So my being busy, my state of being busy, my condition is going to continue or persist for that time period. Next, prepositions as, like and as if. So you use the preposition as when you are playing a role. For example, she is very responsible as a daughter-in-law. That means she is a daughter-in-law. She is like his daughter. So she is not his daughter but similar to her. Third, as if. As if means seems to be, apparently. So she behaves as if she was his daughter. She is not his daughter, maybe, but she behaves as if she was his daughter. Seems to be, apparently. Next, ago and before. So we'll again compare between these two prepositions. You use the preposition ago when you are going back in time, taking the present as the point of reference. So I say this happened 6 months ago. That means from the present I go back 6 months in time, and therefore I use ago. But when you are using the past perfect tense and the present is not the point of reference, then you use before. So I had bought this mobile phone before my exams last year. So there is no reference of the present, and you are using had with the past tense form of the verb, that is the past perfect form. Okay. Now comparing the prepositions beside and besides. Be careful with these two. We use the preposition beside to denote the position adjacent or next to someone. So she stood beside me in the line, or she stood beside me in my bad days. So someone who's sitting next to you, or who stood by you, who stood beside you, just next to you, adjacent to you. Whereas the preposition besides is used to suggest except something, leaving something, barring something. So besides her, everyone talked to me. Besides her, everyone stood beside me. So again, that makes the two prepositions clear. So now here's the figure which is listing, here's the list which is listing most commonly used 100 prepositions. Please go through that. Maybe you'll be able to use most of them, I believe. Now there are various possible structures with prepositions. You can use noun plus a preposition. For example, with the preposition of, you can use a cause of, a photograph of, address of, advantage of. With prepositions with preposition for, with and to, likewise, you can use the structure noun plus preposition. Try making sentences with all these structures, with all these nouns plus preposition structure. Second, you can make sentences with adjectives plus prepositions. Example, afraid of, ashamed of, eager for, eligible for, associated with, bored with. So all these are examples of the structure adjectives plus prepositions. I hope you know what are adjectives. To repeat, adjectives are words that describe a noun. Mostly they come before a noun and they describe a noun. Okay, the third structure that is prevalent is third and fourth. You can use a verb and a preposition together, and you can use a verb plus object plus a preposition. For example, you can say, I find it difficult to adapt to the scenario. This will add to your knowledge. And likewise, you can also use verb plus object plus preposition. For example, I admire you for your behavior. So admire is the verb, you becomes the object, and for again the preposition. So you can use both the structures, verb plus preposition and verb plus object plus preposition. Try making sentences with all these examples given on the screen. For today's lecture, we've referred to the following links. Thank you. I hope now you will be able to use prepositions effortlessly and efficiently in your everyday conversations. Coming back to the three words that I left you with, idle, I-D-L-E, means to remain free or be out of work. For example, he prefers to stay idle most of the time. Second, idol, I-D-O-L, means a statue or a physical manifestation of something. So I have an idol of Lord Buddha in my office. Third, ideal, I-D-E-A-L, means to be a perfect example of something or to be faultless or blameless. So he is an ideal friend. For today, I'm again leaving you with two words. First, allusion with an A-L-L-U-S-I-O-N, and second, illusion, I-L-L-U-S-I-O-N. Do find out their meanings. Thank you.